This week in no-code news, N8N, another critical security patch, 9.4, so patched now. OpenAI launches the Frontier, their big enterprise AI agent platform. Interesting stuff. Microsoft rolling out agent mode in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Ollama drops a GLM-OCR model it's amazing for your documentation. Crawl for AI, great trending GitHub tool that you could start using today. And I get some cool finds for my bookmarks from X for just fine-tuning models and other scraping tools that are out there. All right, let's dig into the news. All right, it seems like every week I start with the N8N critical security patch. These happen, and it's good everybody's on top of it. CVE 2026-25049. Go patch your stuff. Just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the news and get it patched. The sooner the better. It will be applied to 1 and 2, so there's no need to jump to 2 just yet. All right, now for more interesting or fun news. Again, Anthropic Claude Desktop Cowork Mode. Some of the stuff is maybe a little older than a week, but they are grabbing my attention. I want to bring them here. Cowork Mode brings agentic AI to non-developers through Claude Desktop. Users grant Claude access to folders and autonomously reads, edits, and creates files, document formatting, file organizing. If you look at their page, and I'll show it on the screen, there's some really interesting examples of how to use this. But basically, you're given the computer in a secure way, access to your desktop in things you do, especially in the browser. So before long, you'd have a folder that says, this is how I make reports for my boss. Take these reports, go in the browser, go into our ticket system, grab all the data and make a report. And you just couldn't do that before as easily. So it's really a big step forward for tooling that allows normal people to get their job done and empowers them to do it. It's really good stuff. So Claude Desktop, download it. Get Cowork Mode and give it a go. Another Anthropic bit of news is the MCP Apps. Again, that one's not particularly this week, but it's been getting more buzz on my radar. So basically, MCP Apps extend the model context protocol with interactive UI components. So dashboards, forms, visualization. So basically, while you're chatting with AI, you get these interactive elements, color choosers, charts, forms. So you're bringing the UI into the chat. And it's really a big deal because we're trying to figure out how to create new applications and rethink UI. So this is one of the angles I think it's going to win. So MCP Apps, give it a look and start considering it if you're building a new UI or building something for your company. Microsoft Copilot agentic features rolling out. Microsoft is rolling out agent mode in Word, Excel, PowerPoint in February for Copilot chat users. New features include notebook grounding for agents, Excel enhancements for local stored workbooks, no-code Copilot Studio lets non-technical staff build custom agents without coding. Looks good. Sounds good. If you're stuck, not in a bad way, if you have to use the Microsoft ecosystem and your company will let you use these tools, that's great. Hopefully it works out well. I hope this doesn't limit people in what's possible. I don't have access to these tools, but it looks interesting. And anything to automate and create this kind of cohesive environment with your data, with your tools is so key. Vercel Agent Browser launched Agent Browser in January. It reduces irrelevant context by 93% compared to Playwright, which is another way to basically drive a browser compatible with Cloud Code, Gemini Cursor. These agent browsers are very important. A company that might have a test suite of UI interactions with their website could use this now to prompt their way to QA and coverage, which in the years before was a lot of Python, a lot of Gherkin and other things to basically do testing. You can download this, run it in a way that's part of your CI/CD workflows, and do other automations, obviously, in research for free. That's really neat, especially if you're using local models. OpenAI launched Frontier, a new enterprise platform for building, deploying, and managing AI agents, integrates siloed internal applications, ticketing tools, and data warehouses, includes enterprise IAM for both employees and AI agents. Wow. Forward deploy enterprise. There's a lot going on here. It's neat. This is good. I haven't been impressed with OpenAI for a while. This is a nice move in enterprise. And if they can really pull this off and get into these systems, then they could be a way to integrate all this data. All right, some local LLM news. This is important because if you're here thinking no code, thinking AI, thinking what's going on, these are things you could be running locally to save money or to build solutions for your company that are private, predictable because you're not going to have to change them every so many months. And once you get them running, they should just keep running. More news around Mistral and a company who's known to release models that you can use locally. There's a 24B one that's Apache 2 license. So who knows what you can pull off there. I have some benchmarks I've been doing for just normal business requirements, and these are doing fine. There's a lot you could just get done with these local models. Ollama, web search API and structured outputs. Ollama's been around since day one. Ollama added web search API free tier for individuals, structured outputs constrained to JSON schema, and significantly improved GPU scheduling, fewer crashes. I assume this impacts their running locally version, so if it does, great. Once again, if you're running Ollama as your server backend for your local or company-driven type interactions with local models, this is great. And I'm just glad they're making strides here. It's all good. GitHub trending this week. We had OpenClaw, of course, the highest growing open source repository. If you don't know about it, you'll see it on LinkedIn, Twitter, all the places. It's an interesting paradigm shift as we see a project that runs an agent 24/7, which means you can talk to it over Telegram and other ways to just get little things done quickly. Not just little, organize my emails, help me build up a proposal for this newscast. You can really do a lot with it. It's just and I'll talk about this in another show. It's just, there's different layers of how we're going to use AI, and that one is a nice one. It's an interesting one. We'll see where it goes. It's really interesting. Then you have Crawl for AI. It's trending. Web scraping framework designed specifically for AI agents to crawl and process web documents. A really important stuff. It looks really good. It's something I could use to scrape the websites for customers, but at no cost. I could just run it on these machines, go get the data, process the data offline as well, no cost. And they could be collecting data, organizing PDFs and other requests for work, and so much more. I had this one person who wanted me to get all the documents from a particular government website to then monitor change in their processes and government rules. And it was just interesting because you have hundreds of PDFs. Let's grab them, process it, make it chattable, and then look for changes over time. All that stuff could be free now with these type of tools. These are some X or Twitter things that caught my eye as well. Ollama GLM-OCR. Again, Ollama added GLM-OCR to their available models. It can output in JSON, and it's text, tables, figures. So again, just another vision OCR type platform or model, that you can do this common task of taking documents and grabbing more than just the text out of it. Really important, honestly. One more vision model. That's nice. Another one was Tiny Skills, an agent that autonomously learns new skills by firing 8 parallel agents to scrape docs, GitHub, Stack Overflow, and blogs. 100% open source. An interesting project. All these things are good to keep an eye on, especially if you're working in a small business and you need to introduce AI, but you don't have the budget. These are some big wins. One Mac Mini, one of these later, you have all these automation going, and you have AI on the machine, so you have predictable costs. Be interesting to see once this stuff really takes off. I don't know what it's going to take. Some more no-code tools. Let's see. This is the H20 LLM-Studio. This looks nice. This is a framework and no-code GUI for fine-tuning. As a business, you might need to fine-tune your models, which is intimidating. But if this tool with its graphical interface, GUI, makes it easier, then once again, it just reminds me of how we're putting into the hands of the normal business worker, owner, the ability to do what then makes this technology applicable for their business needs. It reminds me back when MySQL was a big deal, when I was starting out, giving someone PHP My Admin, believe it or not, was amazing because then they learned how to do queries and do the data in their own way without having to ask me to do queries. It's these little steps that brings the tools to the hands of the normal person getting their job done and out of the hands of us people who supposedly are technical. And that's cool. Schematron 3B HTML to JSON. So another open source tool. Again, scraping data from websites, organizing it in a way that it's structured, and then storing in your database as needed. This model helps with that, which is really important, actually. Structured data is really important. This is a cool one. Grok Imagine 1.0, full cartoon generation. The particular post is okay. I liked it. Some people did not, but I guess that's Twitter. But it just reminds me, the creative possibilities right now, if you have an idea for a story, what you could do that you could never do before, and even though people think it's AI slop, it's just, I think for me, having some stories that I want to then do in this way, it's really inspiring. I just got to find the time. Full cartoon generation, examples done with Grok Imagine 1.0. I think I had a few more here, basically stuff I saw on YouTube, building your own Clawdbot replica with Claude code. This looks really good. I'm going to try it this weekend. She does a great job of explaining it, so I'll be coming back after. But instead of using OpenClaw, you could use Claude Code to automate and be there for you and just go back and forth and just do stuff. I think it could be a more solid solution and in many ways, maybe more secure. All right. Then we have the MCP Apps, a video on that. Again, he's doing a great job on these videos. It's worth a watch. Get a sense of what these MCP apps are. And then there's another one I'll try and find where he talks about a GUI. So you have these two frameworks for how to do UI surfacing in a way that hopefully will inspire you to see how you can build your next UI for your business in a way that is just a lot more simple. It's going to get you done more quickly. And lastly, how to build your dream SaaS business in 2026. Simon does a lot of great videos. Here is some inspiring ideas to use and some inspiration to just keep going with what you can build, what you can do. And SaaS products are hard. I could use Replit and crank it out, but then I have to market the heck out of it. It's just hard. But it's fun. It could be fun. And if that's something you want to be inspired about, just go watch the video. That is it for the news. I'll post this to LinkedIn, to Substack, and of course to YouTube. Please follow, comment so I know what you want to hear. And I'll see you next week, or you'll read next week in Substack. All right. Thank you.